What's up, guys? Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from a place with no camera. Hold on real quick. Let's get the camera going. Boy, that was kind of a funny intro, right? Anyway, welcome to the show, My eBay Selling, 10 items that I sold as an eBay seller. So anyway, welcome to the show. Got my trusty ACL Music Festival hat on, which is going down this weekend. Question is, should I vlog it or not? I think I'm going to, but it should be a really fun time. So anyway, but yeah, my name is Chris. I'm also known as the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas. I flip stuff I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, picks, big box stores. And I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, and my antique booth. On this show specifically, we're going to be talking about flips that made it to eBay. So let's talk about who's in the feed. We got Cape Cod Reseller. What's up? We got Ben H. and Timothy Grapp right now. 14 viewers in the room. Guys, talk it up. I wonder who my best friend's going to be. Usually my best friend's the person that's like all super positive and like has already liked the video and all that kind of stuff. But there's always a best friend in every video. So, okay, so let's talk about, we're going to get to this. The way this the premise of this show is learning from not my mistakes, and maybe we'll have a mistake show too, but like this one, these are just like pretty good triumphs for the most part. And these are items that if you find them today, they're pretty much timeless. Like they still hold incredible value. You know, some of these pictures are from back in the day, but we're still going to look at them because it's still good learning. Thank you very much, Lucky, who says, love your show, so informative. Thanks for hosting, Chris. And what's up, Brian Huntsman, Cat Chaos, and John, and Crystal. So lots of people here. So yeah, that's the premise of the show. I want to, through screen shares, we're going to look at these items, pictures of them, and I'm going to tell you what it sold for, what I bought it for, the scenario behind the whole thing. And I would, as much as I would love to say that all the items on this 10 list are diverse, there are about 3 that are like very alike, but still a very, very important kind of thing because there's a correlation between the 3 that you'll figure out. Outside of that, should be good. If you want to find more, if you want to connect more with me in the background, you can find me at Bonafide Hustler on Facebook, and you can find me in the Green Room University.com. That's my company, and proud of it. So you guys want to get into the show? You guys ready? Does it sound good? Let me know. And also, I'm going to be linking up other top 10 or 10 things that sold playlists on this video. So you'll see it somewhere on this side eventually. There's going to be a link to another playlist. So if you just want to binge on these type of things and you find it like a fun way to learn, then I'm going to be linking all those things right after this video. So I am creating a master playlist and you will see it here soon. Okay, so we got Cape Cod Reseller from Dakota. I wonder where everyone's from. As I told you guys, I'm from Austin, Texas. And we got San Diego in the house. We got a lot of people. What's up, Devin, Simon, Frank Chupetta? We got a lot of people here. Raymond. Okay, so let's take a look at the first. We have a comment from Raymond. It says, I usually watch the recording. This feels weird not being able to fast forward. Hey, it's a live show, which is good too because you can ask questions and you can delve into something. If you need some clarification, like now's the time to do it. I'm getting to the point now on my channel, and I should have said, like I got to that point a while back where the comments are just coming in really fast. And so it's getting very hard to get back to people. On my Snapchat, you saw me attempting some of this stuff, but it's getting tough, right? If you want to connect with me on Snapchat too, Bonafide Boddam, at Bonafide Boddam. So BONAFIDE BODDAMN. Okay. It is good to see everyone. Yeah, Delaware, Phoenix, Illinois, Miami. Man, we got all kinds of people in here. Let's get into the show. Let me screen share this stuff, all right? So we can get some learning down. So get the screen share. Let's make sure you guys can see this. 1 second. Whoa, we're not going to do that yet. Important things that I think, I found most of these things at garage sales and picks, thrift stores. So let me share the whole thing real quick with you guys, present to everyone. All right. So the very first thing that we have here is an Osprey. All right. We can tell it's because Osprey right here, and the logo of Osprey looks like this right here. There's a little kind of like bird with its wings spread out. If you look carefully, there's the logo right there. It says Osprey. These packs are made of ripstop nylon in most cases. And when you're looking at ripstop nylon because it kind of looks like squares, right? It looks like almost like a checkerboard without the checkers, right? But you can see this. So if you were to take a rip, a knife and cut a hole right here, the rip would stop. Like it would just go to the next string and it would stop. You can see some of these squares right here. Anyways, ripstop nylon. Very kind of important things when you're hiking in the wilderness. You want something that if you snag it on a tree, it doesn't start falling apart. And it's not like when one thread goes, the whole backpack goes. It's not like a pair of socks or a pair of underwear or anything like that, guys. This is like real deal stuff designed to take you into the woods for days on end, maybe weeks on end, and to bring you out. So you see all these little, you know, little straps and everything. That's to put sleeping bags on, sleeping mats. An Osprey Ether 70. This is a pretty big pack. Packs that I've hustled have gone up to about 90, but 70 is definitely one of the bigger ones. It's a great brand. This is one of my favorite brands of all time to hustle. I own several Osprey products. They're just really, really good. They are definitely known for having this thing called an airscape in the back, which is a mesh back that keeps the air flowing between the backpack and your back, right? So there's like a little airspace right here that keeps it cool. Most backpacks have some sort of like technology like an airscape, but none have really done it as well as Osprey, because this is like a hollow kind of piece right here. You can even put a camelback in there because it's so hollow and just concave almost. It's really neat. The straps are even contoured to the body to make them all comfortable. We have all kinds of custom molding kind of things. So this is like really designed to be comfortable over a long portion of time. See, you can see the ripstop nylon right here, what it looks like. And very, very thick straps down to all the way over here. Water bottle holder on the side. It's a really nice pack. I bought this at a garage sale for $50. You might be thinking like, holy crap, like that's a lot for a backpack. And it is a lot for a backpack. But then again, the right kind of companies such as Osprey, and then you have Dana Designs, you have other things like Gregory. Those are great companies when it comes to these trekking backpacks. And it's definitely worth, you know, looking at your phone for a second to see if you can move the thing, because I already knew. I mean, it was just one of those things I knew I could move it. Because it's an Osprey, it was one of the more current day models. The guy was like, oh, I hiked in it one time, you know. So it's an Ether 70, really nice. And now that one sold for $149.99. The box wasn't the great, you know, probably a $22 ship or something like that. But either way, still some money to be made in there. I would love to find it less than that. But quite honestly, when people buy an Osprey, they know how much they spent on this thing. They remember like, oh crap, that backpack was like literally like $300, right? So it's one of those items, and there's so many items like that when you go hustling and thrifting that the people are going to remember what they paid for the item, and it's just an expensive thing. I find that same kind of, I can equate it to, let's say, a Margaritaville mixer, some of those upper end juicers. People are just like, I spent $400 on that thing. So yeah, 150 at the garage sale, right? And it's one of those kind of items that I don't ever see it like rock bottom unless I find it at a thrift store. At a thrift store, I'll find a Gregory, sometimes an Osprey, or a Dana Designs in a $19.99 or below range. But yeah, that's a thrift store because people are pricing it and have no idea what the hell they're looking at. So anyway, that's one of those kind of items. What do you guys think of that? Is a parachute ripstop nylon? I've always wondered what material it could be. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, usually the last time I picked up a parachute was like 3 weeks ago, and it was at a garage sale, and I was like, holy crap, I really want to buy this thing. But then I realized like I would never know how to use it or whatever. I mean, I know how to use it, but like the question is, would I ever use it to test? No. Like, but I remember picking it up and going like, man, I always thought in life that parachutes weighed way more than what I was like picking up. It felt like air. So anyway, I don't know if it's ripstop nylon. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be, but it was a totally different type of nylon, much thinner, I bet. Lucky's saying those camping backpacks are legit. That's right. Cape Cod Reseller, a friend of mine works at Osprey. One of the things about Osprey that I like a lot is they have a almighty guarantee. It's what they call it. So like if you own an Osprey bag, it doesn't matter where you got it. Okay. You can get it from a garage show or whatever. And it's got issues, tears, rips, broken, you know, clasps, whatever. You can send it back to Osprey, right, on your dime, and they will fix it. And if they can't, they're going to cut you a check for something comparable, which is pretty nuts. So yeah, I mean, the almighty guarantee is very interesting. I actually took it, I wouldn't say I took advantage of it, but I did buy an Osprey bag at a Goodwill for like $20. It was a Meridian, Meridian 22. It's like the most popular one. This bag is $379.99 in a store. $379.99. I sent in a Meridian that had some tears and some like this and that, and I'm like, shoot, let's see what happens with this almighty guarantee. I'll try it out, right? And I send it in, and sure enough, they're like, look, this pack is kind of far gone, so go ahead and pick a Meridian from the website. I'm like, what? Seriously? So I picked up like a really nice Meridian, and that's what I use now to go traveling. Like I'm like, that's nuts. Like they didn't ask me like, where did I get it from? Are you the original? They don't ask any of that stuff. They were just like, you know, the dude sent it off to us. So I basically got a Meridian for, you know, that plus the shipping cost. And then anyway, so it was really, really nuts. Yeah, Dana Designs is really cool. Brian Huntsman has sold a Dana Designs backpack for $155. A lot of the outdoor companies have lifetime warranties like JanSport. That's correct. AZ Mix says, thanks for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome. All right, let's get back into this screen share here. And let me put it to everyone. I tell you, man, running these shows, it's fun, but it's a little bit of work. Okay, this next one right here. So the story behind this and the things after this, well, not that one. This is a different story. But like when you see this one and this, I think this other one down there, you'll see. So this one came, when I was trading with one of my friends back in the day, we were looking at Craigslist and just, you know, if you know anything about stock trading, there's a lot of downtime involved, right? Where you get to play games and stuff like that. Well, I was like searching Craigslist. Like the games got old real quick, and I started searching Craigslist all the time for stuff. And then one of my friends was like, "Yeah, forget these games, right? Like I want to search Craigslist too, and I want to do some hustling." So he found an ad where a guy was clearing out a room full of RC stuff. A room, okay, an actual small bedroom, like with say 14 by 14, yeah, or 12 by 12, stacked to the wall with RC stuff. So we went there and took us 2 trips with 2 cars. One was an Element and one was a BMW X5. And we bought everything in the room for $640. Every single thing, every remote control, everything, every part, every controller, every remote control car, every boat, everything, $640. And there's a funny story behind that. I actually done business with the guy before, but it wasn't really a legit business. But anyway, we won't get to that part. This was one of the things in there, okay? Just one of like hundreds of things that we got. And this Volkswagen Beetle was really interesting because, you know, when you get in, when they're in the box, they're not built up. So this one was built up, right? Or built up, mostly built up, right? Here's some of the extra pieces of it. But for the most part, it was built up. As you can see right here, it's got everything, decals on it. You know, neat little RC. I don't know who really cares about this kind of stuff, but this one, just this car right here sold for $80 plus $20 in shipping. So that was just that. So the key here is not what the car is, because you're likely never to find the car. But the most important thing is the fact that this is coming from a brand that is so well known in RC called Tamiya. And you got to be remembering this logo, this brand, because Tamiya makes remote radio-controlled cars, trucks, not aircraft, and I don't believe boats. They also make World War II scale models and tanks and all that kind of stuff. But those are actually like plastic models, like a tester's kit or one of those kind of thing, right? Those aren't radio controlled or anything. They're just models that you build and you know, paint them and everything like that. The part of Tamiya that I really like are the radio controlled cars. This one seems to have a 3-step forward and it has a reverse. So, you know, it's got some interesting things, almost like a transmission built into it. I could care less because I didn't want to keep it in my collection. And back then I had some cool stuff in my collection, but I really didn't want to add this one. I just have no, I mean, they're neat and everything, but the only one that I seem to like that I've ever seen are the ones that kind of look surfy and they have the really cool like rack on the top, you know, the silver rack, and then they have like the wood paneling. I like those a lot. And those are really rare. I see like one every 5 years. So yeah, I don't care about keeping this thing. So that's the Tamiya right there. That's a really, you know, it was a good score, just considering the entire room was $640. We split it, my friend and I gave him some really, really good things. All he cared about was like getting 5 vehicles out of the room. And then outside of that, he's like, you can have everything else. And so I tell you, it took me 3 months to get rid of everything. It was so long, but it was so much stuff. It was so worth it. So, all right, let's talk about this one right here. This was another Craigslist find. This one was coming from a town that was north of Austin, about 20 miles. And some guy was like, I just want to get rid of it for, no, not 20 bucks, for $50, right? But he was asking 75. But when we got there and we realized some of the stuff was missing, like, and the shocks were completely shot and everything like that, we were like, look, we can offer you 50. Now you might be looking at this going, I don't see what's so important about it. Well, there are a lot of things that are very important about this, because first of all, what we are looking at right here is a Tamiya buggy, right? And Tamiya, see, we can see the Tamiya. I think it's I don't know if that's gear oil or what, but anyway, there it is. You can see Tamiya right there on there. If you didn't know what you were looking at, it'd be very hard to like pull the trigger on this, right? But the guy even said it was a Tamiya. He didn't know what kind of buggy it was. He's just like Tamiya buggy, vintage, blah, 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 75 bucks. And some of these really vintage buggies go for really, really amazing money. And this one went for pretty good money. But this is the exact condition we found it in, right? It's the Tamiya buggies back in the day. They used like really interesting metal bodies. Like you can see that the chassis, all this stuff is like metal except for this part right here. But like when we get down to the actual linkage, how it steers around and how the suspension works, I mean, it's all really, really well done. It's really, really nice. Down to like the oil that goes into the main shock that's right here. It's just so well built. You look at today's radio controlled cars, and I mean, all these A-arms and stuff are plastic now. This was like actually like metal. Like I don't know how to explain it, but we could see the back of it like that. I mean, this is, you don't see quality like this anymore. So this is a Tamiya Super Champ buggy, okay? Anytime you see these type of like buggies that look like this with this really vintage type stuff, and you're at a garage sale and you're like, I don't know whether pick it up, and if it feels super heavy, like this was a really heavy buggy, just swing on it and take the chance. Because this Tamiya Super Champ sold for $200, $199.99 within a couple days on eBay. So yeah, that was a really, really good score right there. We knew it was going to sell for more money. Like he was just, one of my little stock trader friends was like, look, I have a feeling this is going to sell for really good money. And I was like, I know this will sell for good money. It's not even, I think, I know. So that's one of the things I wanted to show you guys. That's also a Tamiya buggy. And very important, have you guys ever hustled a Tamiya car or a buggy or anything like that? Let me know. Very, very, very fun stuff. Like they almost always hold their value. I've never lost on a radio control deal in my entire life. I've never lost on one. So, so yeah, sweet car. I love getting Tamiya stuff, not just RC stuff, but the plastic models do good. They do. I just sold a lot of Losi stuff. Losi is, Losi makes current day models. They make vintage RC as well. Same with Team Associated, right? The RC10. Really, really interesting things. Good Use Good says, I'll grab any vintage RC for under $100 usually. I don't mess with Red Cat racing. Yeah, Red Cat is more current day racing type stuff, but any vintage RC, the ones that sell really well, any race car, any buggy, any truck that's Tamiya is going to have really, really good resale value. The highest Tamiya I ever sold was $600. It was called a Blackfoot, not a Clodbuster, something like that. It was either a Blackfoot or a Clodbuster, either way, and it was brand new. Like it was a totally different deal, but that is really good. Another brand back in the day is Team Associated, which was also very well known for building what's called the RC10, the RC10 Gold Pan. Those were really good. When you come with Losi, I want to say it's the JRX2 was really popular. That was just the thing that kind of went head to head with the RC10, or maybe it was a little bit after the RC10. But yeah, there's some really interesting things. And back in the day, if you even want to go consumer grade radio control, then Tyco was really good, and Nico, and some of the Radio Shack stuff was really good. But that's consumer grade, like mass produced. You walk into a mall, you can buy it kind of stuff. Anyway, vintage HPI says good too. One of my best vintage or retro HPIs that I sold was called a Hellcat, I want to say, or something like that. Yeah, Hellcat. Anyway, very, very neat vehicle. I think I sold mine for like, what, $250 or something? Nitro based, gas motor, like crazy stuff. So anyway, Cape Cod Reseller says, how do you spell the manufacturer? I said a bunch of them. So Tamiya is Tamiya. Losi is Losi. Team Associated, we know that one. And then the other one is Tyco and Nico, Tyco and Nikko. So there you go. All right, let's go into the next part of the program right here. If you're having fun on this program, hit the like button. We have 2 people that do not like this program. I don't know why. Maybe they're not finding like anything cool, or maybe they're just maybe their Wednesday just sucks. Anyway, so here is one of the best scores. I'll bring this around every now and then. Like I think the last time I talked about I'll talk about it in passing, but I want to show you 2 of my best scores on eBay ever. Okay. I mean, they're just really, really good. So what you're looking at right here, take a guess what this is. Who knows what this is? This is 2 of my really good scores on coming up. Who knows what this is? Now, if you know the story of Bonafide Hustler, you've probably heard this story a couple times, but I think it's neat because as I was sifting through pictures, I was like, oh, I really want to talk about this because this was a really good one. Let me know. What do you guys think? Can you figure it out? What is this thing? It's pretty easy to figure out. It is definitely something that I think most probably guys would know what's up because, you know, we're into those movies that are all Arnold Schwarzenegger-ish and Dolph Lundgren-ish and, you know, combat and all this kind of stuff. And this is definitely related to all that. All right, so this is a joystick top, or like the handle of a joystick. On the bottom, right, depending on who flies the plane, right, this is a plane joystick, you can unscrew this and then put on a left-handed one, right? Or you can unscrew this and put the right-handed one. It really depends on, you know, your other hand on the throttle, and then this one is going to be your main like joystick. So this one was for a right-handed pilot, and very interesting because, and you would know pretty much immediately whether it's right or left-handed. You just, all you gotta do is pick it up, and one's gonna feel amazing and one's not gonna feel amazing. So we have a I want to say it's a 60s French fighter jet joystick right in front of us right here. And it's really interesting because it does have like the missile lock and all this stuff, and you know, whatever this, I don't know what this forward and backward thing was for. I can't imagine it was for elevators or anything like that, but it must have been for something else, maybe like the axis of a gun or something. It had all these little switches that were protected by other things. Like you would have to flip this down to activate that switch. You have to flip this one up to activate the switch under that. Or you flip this switch all the way this way and it becomes its own trigger. You can see the trigger right here, right? So you flip it here and then it becomes a trigger for something. Really, really sweet stuff. This was at an estate sale at 8 in the morning on a Friday, okay, along with the next item that you're about to see. I bought this one for 65 bucks. Did I do well or not? What do you guys think? What do you guys think it's sold for? I'm very curious to see. The people that know the story of the Bonafide Hustler are going to know probably the vicinity of what it sold for. There's a question here. Texas Hustle says, did you buy the rest of the jet? No, I didn't, but there were pieces of the jet there. The part of the jet that I really wish I had bought were the seats. And the seats were sitting there at the estate sale, and they were, I think by the time I'd walked in, I can't remember if they were sold or not, but I think they went for $150 a piece. They were pretty neat looking seats. They didn't look like the kind of seats from like a B-52 or a B-1B or anything like bomber style, where you're looking at a lot of machined aluminum or anything like that. It looked a little different. It looked like it had, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It actually had fabric and it almost like a little sofa cushion, but it was like fighter jet sofa cushion. So people are guessing 300, 245, 500, 200-ish, 325. So yeah, this part right here went for 350. This guy right here, just this fighter jet controls, just it's crazy, right? The joystick, top part of the joystick for a French fighter jet that saw combat, very, very slim. It was more of a recon jet. I looked up everything about it. So it saw combat a little bit for like a year or two, but for the most part, it was just a recon assistance type jet. Very neat kind of hustle. In that same estate sale, I found this for $11. Who knows what this is? This was very interesting. I mean, this part was like, I just liked it for a paperweight. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm just going to look it up and see what it's all about. And lo and behold, the paperweight was actually worth a lot of money. So what do you guys think this is worth right here? And this is a gauge from inside the jet. It's a Heuer gauge. I guess you could say it's Tag Heuer or whatever, but it's just Heuer. Anytime you see Heuer, it's usually associated with like stop clock, stopwatches, timekeeping kind of things, especially back in the day. Heuer, H-E-U-E-R. I saw somewhere in some reselling group that someone had found a stopwatch for, I don't know if it was Olympics or something or a F1 race, but someone had found one of these Heuer twin clock things for an F1 race, I want to say, or Le Mans race or something, and it went for really, really big money. There were two of these side by side. It was like a lap counter kind of thing. Anyway, this one directly into a jet's panel. You can see you screw it in, right? And then it's all self-sufficient. It doesn't require a plug-in or nothing. Like you just press a button and it just started going. I don't know how it worked like that, but it was just working already, which is weird. So this one went for big money. What do you guys think? We're looking at $179.99, $150, $200, $250. All right, this one right here sold for $399.99 to a person, I think, in Norway or something like that. And I think their eBay name was like Hoyer Collector or something Hoyer. Like this person was like diehard Hoyer person. Like that's all they care about, Hoyer or however you say it. But yeah, $399.99. Pretty crazy, right? And you know this didn't take much to ship because it only was like the size of half of a cell phone, right? If that. So really, really good money right there. Anytime you're dealing with antique maritime or antique aviation or vintage aviation, all that kind of stuff, and it's built with brass or it's built with like this really heavy stuff and metals and shiny pieces, connecting rods, pieces of jets, pieces of this, airplane wings. You're talking about pretty big money almost every time with all that kind of stuff. I have hustled pieces of an airplane before. I threw it in my antique booth though because it was so big I couldn't even like bring it home or nothing. But I think it was, I don't know if it was a piece of a wing or a fuselage or what, but it was like riveted aluminum, crazy stuff. And I threw it in my booth and it took about 2 months to sell. But yeah, it sold for full price. And I bet you an artist picked it up and like made it as a canvas or something, you know, like it was the canvas of something really amazing in his life. So very neat. This next find right here that we're about to look at was also found in an estate sale in Northwest Austin on a Saturday. No, this is a Friday as well. And this one, I think Whitney was there, my wife, and she didn't point it out, but I saw it when I was leaving. Like I didn't find anything in the estate sale, and I looked at that small little plastic case that's right by the cashier, and I was like, holy crap, like that's a Seiko Mickey watch, right? So what do you guys think this sold for? Anytime Mickey anything, just not really Loris related, Seiko Mickey is pretty decent stuff. But Seiko, they also, this company Loris, Lorus, also, I guess, got licensing agreements with Disney to put Disney all over their watches. And those are like super mass produced. I wouldn't touch Loris ones very much. But these Disney Seiko ones are interesting. And the hands are, of course, you know, Mickey's actual hands, which is neat. And yeah, so what do you guys think this sold for? This is a very nice piece. And here's the other, had a couple little micro scuffs on it. Nothing crazy, you know, nothing crazy at all, right? Pretty decent shape. I think people are going to overguess this one. I really do, because I know what I was shooting for, and I got very close to it. I have a feeling people are probably going to overshoot this one pretty heavily. And we're not talking a whole lot of money, but I did pick it up for, I want to say $15. It's not real gold. I think it's just gold plated. I'll just kind of, yeah. So good used goods is right around exactly where I was like ballparking it when I was first putting it on. This actually sold for $93.99. And of course the shipping is really nothing because it's a watch. So pretty good. It's hard. It's easy. I said Loris was not. So Dakota's Homestead says, do I say Loris was good or bad? Honestly, with all the Loris Disney research I've ever done and come across in the field, like I don't pull the triggers on Loris stuff usually. That's not the one to really be looking for. But the Seiko Disney ones are really awesome. So yeah, check out for those. They're hard to find though. But anyways, this is gold plated. You know, they're solid gold plated. Anytime there's plated, you know, it's obviously going to be a little bit less. I don't know if it was 18 or 24. I don't know the carats, but all I know is that I did the market research and, you know, they were selling right around that $100 mark. So Lucky says, Chris, how do you base your asking price? Well, because I looked at this and of course you look at the new ones and you look at yours and you go, okay, well, mine has scuffs. Like, okay, so clearly mine's not new, but clearly mine works. I guess it's important because it was working straight out of the estate sale. That was great. That was one of the best things. And it's a Seiko, good brand, right? It works. It's a Seiko. It's a good brand. It's got the gold finish to it. Okay. So it's probably going to be worth something. Anything Seiko, usually like nice condition, retro and vintage gold is usually going to do okay. Mickey or no Mickey on it, right? It's just gold watches were really cool back in the 80s and the 70s, and people still want to have them today. This was just a collector's piece. So someone probably Disney, you know, fanatic about memorabilia probably wanted it. Yeah, I look at the spread, and the spread, I think at that time there was only like 8 sold in the past 90 days, 2 of which were like maybe new, and then the other ones were like used, and the used ones were starting at like 120 all the way below, but the used ones that were 120 were like mint used ones. I mean, like totally mint, basically almost new. And mine had the scuffs on it, so I was like, you know what, like I'd be happy at that $100 range. And then yeah, so 93.49, which or 93.99, something like that. I think I probably had put my store on sale from some price and came down to that price, because I don't ever price anything at 93.99. Like, so my guess is I had that store was on sale at some point. So very, very good way to do it. So you have to look at, like, there's some that are like as parts, like needs work. There's some that are completely like the bezel is completely toast. The bezel on this was scratch free. The glass scratch free. Everything was scratch free except for this. So as long as you take good pictures, and this is just two of some of the good pictures. My phone back then kind of sucked on pictures, but whatever. Now we're looking at a jersey. This is considered a kit. It's kind of like everything, bib, kit, whatever you want to call it. But those are kind of the keywords you're going to want to put when you're dealing with anything cycling. And I really thought this was going to go for more money. I really, really did. But this is just I want to say it's an Italian cycling bib, kit, jersey, whatever. You put all those things in there. It's a onesie. Like, you kind of jump into it. It's a half zip. I mean, full zip onesie. Like, you jump into it, and there you go. You can go cycling with it. Now, I thought it was going to go for like, $70 or anything like that. It actually shook out at like $29.99, and that's okay, because I was only in it for like $2. I got it from like a Salvation Army, I think, along with a couple other jerseys. So that wasn't too bad. But I really did think it was going to go for much bigger money. This would not have any sort of resale value in my booth, because the person that needs to see this is someone that's likely back in the day was obsessed with Tour de France or whatever race, and likely might have had some Italian ties or something. At that point, you might want to rock a vintage kit, like this, when you're riding your own bike. But what's the chances of that person walking into my booth? Very, very slim. So I realized that my avenue to move this thing was definitely eBay. Okay, so we having fun here on the show. Let's take a look at the comments. Hope you guys are having some good time. All kinds of comments. All right, so we got 28 upvotes and 2 downvotes. Guys, hit the like button. Helps out a lot, analytics, and it helps out also for the video to get pushed out on YouTube to more people. So it's really neat. Lucky is saying, yum, Mozart's coffee. This person must be in Austin, Texas. Viper says, thanks for these videos. Bonafide helps build knowledge. That's right. It's always about learning, right? Super crazy. Like, as much as you can learn, like, that's how you get there. I got to tell you, honestly, one thing is, like, my quest to be one of the better or best hustlers ever, like, led me to incredible hauls, incredible things at thrift stores and all that kind of stuff. And I consider myself really, really good. I've made a lot of mistakes. Okay. I've made a ton, but my winnings have been much better. Now, I think in this game, we're going to get to some more pictures, but I want to kind of take a little break right here and just say, I think in this game, it's crucial that you're always trying to learn at some point, trying to, I always like to pride myself on, like, if you looked at all my pictures of all the stuff I've ever sold on eBay, right, you'd be like, holy crap, like, this dude's so diverse. Like, this is nuts. Like, he hustles just about anything. And I think for me, someone like me that has an eBay business, an Amazon business, and I'm running an antique booth as well, like, I just have a knack for appreciating a lot of things that were really cool back in the day, things that have retro followings, all that kind of stuff, or just random stuff. I just have an appreciation for a lot of things. And I think the appreciation maybe came from my father, came from all the stuff I watched on TV. Who knows what it came from? But can all this stuff be learned? I absolutely think so. And one of the main reasons why I embarked on a mission to create, like, a really, really giant place where we could minimize mistakes and help people make really good money quickly. And that's the main reason why we created the greenroomuniversity.com. I don't want this to turn into a sales pitch whatsoever, but I do want to let you guys know that every guide that I have ever created and every guide that Raken's created, and there's definitely a college picker's guide in there. We have garage sale killer as a guide in there. We have all these crazy things. That's just one part, micro part of the Green Room University. But if you just want that, like, sit back, kind of like relaxing and learning kind of thing, right, without videos, there's that, right? And if you're like, well, I like learning through videos, kind of like this, Chris, like, is there anything like that in there? We have, like, how many do we have now? Like, I want to say 15 to 20. I think we're on Bolo video number 24 or something like that. We have, like, I think we're at 24. I think we have 24 bolo videos that are narrated by College Picker with music and everything like that, showing the best bolos ever of that week in the room. Every 10 days, a bolo video gets generated in the green room. College Picker edits the whole thing and everything. And that's sitting there in a bolo bank, like just sitting there. We have that. We have the Facebook group, which is like literally every day going as fast as it can go. We have Green Room Life for fitness and people that want to eat better and do better with their life. We have Green Room Life on the side that's going on. It's a completely different Facebook group. We have really, really awesome things. Anyway, so the mission behind the whole thing was to, give resellers a voice and give them a place to like rejoice with other resellers. Because let's face it, in your everyday life, if you just get a Triumph or this or that, you can tell the family all as much as you want, but it's like they never understand anything that you're talking about, right? Or your loved one. Oh yeah, good job. Wow, really? You don't really get the, I don't know how to say it, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So being around like-minded people is almost like opening up this gigantic mastermind group for yourself. And so we have monthly and we have yearly options available at the Green Room. If you want to learn more, greenroomuniversity.com. But honestly, one of the best free things we've ever given out, it's sitting in the Green Room too, is this thing right here. If you want to learn more things, trust me, if you don't have this on your phone, I wonder who has it on their phone, like in this feed right here. I wonder who does. I bet you someone has it. I think Lucky has it. I saw Lucky, but he is a really, really good guide. I can't tell you how many things every weekend I find from this guide. So yeah, if you want to learn things and PDFs, right on your phone, bam, check out this guide. That link is directly down below. Okay, so enough of that. KLC TMC learned so much from the Green Room. Roberto Hernandez, what's up? Learning is part of the business. Green Room rocks. That's Viper. Good mindset. Yeah, man. So yeah, it's fun. Best investment I've ever made is Green Room. Viper right there. I'm not telling anyone to say these things. I'll pay you later. No, I'm just kidding. But it's really neat. Devin Simon. Yeah. See, like this is one of our lead Green Roomers right here. Met some of my best friends in the Green Room. Devin, also, I just want to let you know, I was talking to Jason T. Smith yesterday, and I'll probably, either me or Raken will be the person going to ASD next year to Vegas. So I'm coming. Green Room worth every penny. Timothy Grapp, met him in July. Yeah, and Ty the Eye says, my other book, Flip That Shh, is dope too. Here it is right here. Very neat. All right, so let's go back into a couple other things, and we'll go into some questions, okay? Well, I think it's kind of fair to do a little bit of Q&A at the end of this show. I think it'd be really fun. Thanks for all the nice comments. Look, if the Green Room's not worth every penny or you don't like it, you can put that comment too. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Like, constructive criticism is everything. And, I don't think I have the best thing in the whole wide world, but I certainly have something very, very good behind the scenes. And I definitely want to share it with all you guys. So let's talk about the next item. Let me go into my screen share here. All right. So we got done with that. I think there's a couple more items. All right. So now we've learned some things, right, guys? We've learned that radio control stuff has resale, right? And what do we also learn? That Tamiya is a really good brand. So let's take a look at this. Is something interesting. If you come into a if you come into a garage sale or thrift store and you see this, right? You see, usually when I go to a thrift store and I see a model, for example, and I open up the box of the model and it's like I see all this crap, I usually pass on it because models, when they're built, usually have no value, okay? They just don't have it. You don't know what's missing. Someone tried to build it. Now, radio control and radio controlled vehicles, okay, that look relatively built and have some of this in the background. All right, now I'm getting excited, okay? I'm getting excited because of many reasons. So let's see why I got so excited about this one. I got excited about this because the Martini endorsement is very strong on this. So we have, Michelin endorsement, Baumler. We obviously know that this thing is awesome, likely Italian based. Not the maker of it, but it's got this, it's definitely one of those replica radio control cars of something that raced back in the day. This is an Alfa Romeo, right? And it's beautiful, right? But now, if you're searching at a garage sale or a thrift store and you see this, you see how you start getting very, very, very excited. So we see this, and we see the fact that, okay, it's showing diagrams of the body off the car, and we're seeing clearly a battery right here to an electronic speed control. What looks to be, and if you knew anything about radio control stuff, we have a belt running from here to here. Now, anytime you see a belt running from the front wheels to the back wheels of any kind of car, or let's say a rod, right, a silver rod, it means one thing only. It means it's an all-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive. Okay, all-wheel, four-wheel, however you want to say it. That's a pretty big thing, because when people race these things around, see right here what it says, four-wheel drive racing car. When people race these things around, and when you have an all-wheel drive car, you can hug corners better. You know, when you actually drift around, it's just a better drift. It hugs things really, really well. So that's a plus, because if it was two-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive, typically a two-wheel drive is going to cost a little bit less than something that's all-wheel drive. Belt-driven four-wheel drive right here, belt drive four-wheel drive. All right, now I'm super excited, and it's also built. I mean, if it wasn't built and it was perfectly in the plastic and everything like that, we'd be talking about probably, I think, $300 to $400, maybe more. I mean, it was a little bit harder of a model to find back in the day. I found this off of Craigslist for $50, and this was sold for $199.99 in this condition right here. I didn't even know if it worked or turned on or whatever. I don't believe I even messed with this one. I was just like, you know what? Radio control fanatics, all they care about is just to buy the car. They can troubleshoot anything that they want. But I never got this thing working. I think it was close to being 100% built, but not 100%. It still needed a couple more things. And I'm not the kind of person who's going to put it more together just to test it, right? I just disclosed what it was, and that's it. So this is an all-in-one kind of like pack. So this has everything. I think it even includes the motor and everything but the controller, okay, and the transmitter and receiver. So basically what you have is you have a transmitter, which is basically the big thing that you hold on to with the wheel. And then they have a receiver that goes in the car that receives the signal from the transmitter that tells the wheels go left, go right, or speed up, speed down. And that's what we have right here. So it comes with everything but those two things. And that's why I couldn't test it out too. So I didn't have the controller. But yeah, I just put it back in here, some bubble wrap, and boom, $199.99 sold. And that is a Tamiya all-wheel drive Martini Alfa Romeo racing car. These things freaking like get me so excited. I love radio control stuff, and they're just so much fun. And especially to hustle, because theoretically I could have probably played around with this thing for a lot and still sold it for like $150. It was like that rare. The person did an okay job of cutting the wheel wells. We can see it's kind of like jagged a little bit, but that's all stuff that the next person can touch up and figure out for themselves. All right, let's go to this very last thing. Actually, two more things. This was interesting. This came, if I'm not mistaken, this was part of that $640 lot that came out of that dude's room when I hustled the whole room. Like, this was just sitting in the background. This is one of the last things I ever hustled. I remember how I told you it took me 3 months to sell everything out of that room. It was crazy. I just trickle sales like galore. I sold all the big ones first, and then I had crazy trickle sales for like 3 months straight. But this was just a Aquacraft bass boat. These stickers on the side are just stickers for the battery that's in there. It's a Turnigy battery, like Zippy, blah, blah, blah. But it's not called a Zippy boat or anything. It's called an Aquacraft bass boat. It did work, and it has this goofy little trailer with it, which is great. I mean, that's nice. I don't know why the trailer's there, but it did work. And it's a water-cooled motor. The reason I know that is because you see this little straw right here. So this propeller forces a lot of water through here, and it picks it up with a straw. It goes into the motor, which is here, and it cools it all down, and then it shoots the water out somewhere else in the boat. But it's a water-cooled motor, standard connector, put a battery in there, and it zooms around. That's great. It was the most boring boat I've ever like tested in my entire life, but it did sell for $99.99, just this boat right here. So that was pretty good. Yeah, really, really fun stuff. And the last score right here, this is a Scully leatherware, vest. I got this from a Salvation Army, I believe, for like $6. And I would consider this to be used. Like, I wouldn't say well used, because when you get well used, you start getting pretty intense discolorations in certain parts, but definitely used, because we can see that it's been on someone's body. It's, it's been broken in, right? It's pretty clear to see that. You see all the wrinkles and everything, and we just know that this has definitely been worn and used, but it's in good condition. It's a Scully. So very important that if you see anything Scully right there, SCULLY, it's a 46, which is just like probably the most fantastic size of all to ever have, right? Because it just seems like it's like finding a really rare shirt in a large or an extra large. It just, those are the best sizes on earth. Like, people love those sizes. So this is a 46. And yeah, this one right here sold. I really thought I was going to make more on this, but I believe this one got out the door for like 50 or 46 or something like that. I thought I was going to make like 80 or 100 bucks on this, but anyway, not a bad thing to mess with. And I think the reason why is because it started having some of the discoloration on this right here. You can kind of see some of it. So had it been 100% one consistent color, I think I would have been making more money. But on the back of it, we can see that either the person leaned too much on something. Maybe they were driving a car or a tractor or something, and it just leaned a whole lot more on one side versus another. And we have a little bit more discoloration. Or maybe they applied too much conditioner on one side versus another. Who knows? But I think that's probably one of the reasons why. Okay, so that pretty much does the show. Let me get into the comment feed right here. If you guys got any questions or remarks or anything. Cape Cod Reseller says, like the X-Files Scully. Yes, Scully actually made that vest. And she went to Salvation Army while Mulder was in the car waiting and just threw it on the rack. That she didn't even like technically donate it. She just threw it in the store. And then she walked out because she had like a UFO like case to like solve. But anyway, it is good to see everybody. Who's my best friend of the day? Well, that's a really, really good question, David. Mara Diaga. Okay. Best friend of the day. I'm trying to think. Some of the best comments I've got today. I'm going to honestly say that it's the person named Viper. That's my best friend of the day, right? Thanks for these videos, Bonafide. It helps build knowledge. I like that comment. Green Room rocks. I like that comment too. Viper, another one. Here we go. Best investment I've ever made is a green room. Like, I like those comments. That's good. It means like the work that I've done is actually good work. When's the next show? This is coming from Lucky. Likely tomorrow. Cape Cod Reseller says, great episode. Thank you so much. Yeah, Good Use Good says, they're so much fun until they die in the middle of the lake, LOL. Time to pull out the canoe. That's a very funny story because I do have another boat that I'm working on selling soon. Let's see if we can see it. You guys see it? I don't want to snag my camera or anything, but there it is right there. All right, so we have a Miss Geico twin hull brushless boat, super fast boat. That's a 50-mile-an-hour boat right there that I have been testing, and it's got a couple micro issues, but I think it has to deal with the voltage that's going through the ESC, and so I need to bring it out again with 2 or 1 very well charged, evenly charged batteries. See, the thing is, these boats can run with 1 battery, or they can run with what's called a series, right? Where you take a Y splitter and you split the voltage, and now you basically effectively have doubled the voltage going into the ESC, and you get a little bit more speed, way more running time. You can do those kind of things. So the boat comes with a little Y splitter, right? It takes like your red and black, and it splits it off to 2 batteries, right? Instead of having just 1 battery. So I've been running it with 2 the whole time. Problem is, when you do a thing like that and you do 2 batteries, those batteries have to be almost identically charged, because if one's a little bit less than the other, then the way it pulls is just all effed up. When you get on full throttle, the boat has a tendency to cut. It'll just start cutting out. It'll still go, it'll cut. It won't give you all the full throttle. Now, if you want the full throttle, you have to have 2 like very identically charged batteries, or you just need to go down to 1 really amazing battery, which is the next test I need to do. But this boat right here, $389.99 boat. I bought it for $80, like not too long ago. I think I only used like 5 times, or maybe it was like 10. I don't know. Either way, I can just tell by looking at it. It's in very, very good condition. I get excited about that kind of stuff. Now, the funniest thing is, like, when you test a boat, yeah, you might have to bring a canoe or a bodyboard or a surfboard, because when you're testing these things out, I try to keep it pretty close to me, because I get out in the lake and then it cuts out or something happens, which that happened. And if you watch my Snapchat, there's me with like a towel around me in the next scene. Like, after going to the lake with this thing, the next scene is like me with a towel, like, well, it stopped in the lake and I had to go like swim in and go get it, which really, really sucked. But yeah, so that's what you have to do when you deal with those kind of things. Of course, when you deal with radio controlled trucks or buggies, you don't have to mess with any of that. But when you deal with anything sailboat related or powerboat related or anything like that, then you have to start thinking, bring a surfboard or bring something with you. It's kind of funny, but those things always have, like, they'll always be some sort of a weird issue with those things. Anyway, Lucky says thrifty business, interviewed Chris. Awesome. That's right. I was there yesterday. Okay, so I bet, yeah, that thing that definitely, Dakota's Homestead said it definitely it absolutely goes super fast. And Green Room, sorry, Good Use Good says I still need to sign up for the Green Room. Okay, should have done it when it was cheaper. I'll get there. I always recommend Green Room for the people who are new or starting out. Look, the best way, all right, if you want to get the best deals into the Green Room, I ain't gonna lie to you, like, you have to get on the email list. That's the easiest way. You can pay attention to my channel or Ricken's channel, and every like, so slim, like, there's a discount. But most, and I know this for a fact, but there are some discounts built into our email list. But they are, I can't tell you which email they are at. But once you get on the email list, you get some really good information from us. You get the free guide. Plus, I know for a fact that there are either 1 or 2 out of 200 emails or so that have the discount. I know this for a fact. And there's also a discount for Garage Sale Killer, which is our newest guide that we produced. That's also in the email series as well. So anyway, just a way to save money. You can wait along, or you can just take the step now and knock it out. It's up to you guys. I ain't gonna force you, but it's a fun place. And the Green Room Conference is going. Oh yeah, Viper says I can't wait for the Green Room Conference. If you want to be part of, if you just want to get a whole lot of information for like a pretty decent amount of, low amount of money, and you want an early bird special, go to greenroomuniversity.com/get notified, because we are going to have an online conference. January, I want to say it's 13, 14, 15, or maybe it's 12, 13, 14. Either way, January 2017. We have booked, I think, 10 or 11 guests, and it's going to be really, really amazing. So it's guests all the way from like Chris Green, Jason T. Smith, Andy Slamans. We have merch people on board. We have all these. We're still reaching out to a couple more people, but these are all going to be like super awesome FBA courses, and there's a wholesale thing in there. There's a merch thing in there. Selling shoes on Amazon thing in there. There's going to be a intermediate to advanced eBay course in there. There's all these kind of people talking about everything, down to like super Amazon seller like Andy Slamans guy. And that's all coming down pretty fast. So we've already booked that. We're going to be working on slots soon, and hourly time slots, 3-day event coming soon. And early bird special, greenroomuniversity.com/get notified. Very important. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I might do another live show later on today, but it's going to be more entrepreneur-based. But it is good to see everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler video. Take it easy. Goodbye.